Hello and welcome to your dotFIT program. Our goal is to show you how to maximize every tool to help you with your fitness goals. So in this next few minutes within this segment, you're going to have everything you need to be successful. First thing, if you notice behind me, we just simply are logged into www.dotfit.com. You should have received your username and password either by signing up, or if you went to a dotFIT licensed facility, they would have provided that for you, probably in an email. All we have to do to get started is move into the top right-hand corner and click the login icon, enter your information. We've just done so for this video. And then we're going to click login after entering our username and password. You know you're going to be logged in once we will see the first letter of our last name in the top right-hand corner. We are now logged in. Now the first thing we have to do is actually create our own program. So for that, we're going to click on this word right up here, summary, and click on summary overview. So if you notice here, we have a few different goals to choose from. We can look at losing weight, building muscle, improving your health and play span or longevity. And then if we scroll down just a little bit here, you'll notice these three at the bottom are all about enhancing athletic performance with either losing weight, building muscle, or no change in weight, just enhancing athletic performance by itself. Our normal suggestion is if the primary goal is losing weight and secondary is maybe enhancing athletic performance, let's choose here versus here. The same thing goes for building muscle. For our example today, let's go with losing weight right up here. So we click on this, and you'll notice here we just have to fill out a few questionnaires to get started. So we're going to click on the blue button, Begin Now. Now here, we are just going to have to take a few moments to fill in our own personal information. Now we're back. We filled in our information, but one point that we want to really drive home here is we have two ways that we can create our program and then receiving progress on a weekly basis. We can look at a weight-only program or weight and body fat. I just want you to see, since the default is weight only, which doesn't mean right or wrong, that's just the default, I'm unable to click into the body fat field to fill that out. But if we go ahead and click right here for weight and body fat, because maybe I'm working with somebody that can take that measurement for me, I now have the ability to enter that into the field. For the time being, for the sake of our tutorial, we'll stay with weight only. And I'm going to ask Chad to go ahead and scroll down, and you'll see at the very bottom of this screen, our next button to go on to the next screen. So now we'll click next. Now the next thing coming up is going to be our medical history questionnaire. And of course, all this information stays private, but all of these different possible conditions, all you have to do is take the time to click yes to anything that applies. Now remember, our goal for you is always going to be results. And I like to say it's the number one goal, but really that's going to be 1B because 1A is client safety. So just want you to know that if you were to check off anything and any type of prescription or medication that you'd be taking for this type of condition, if anything would be a contraindication to any of the dotFIT products, those products would be red flagged and they wouldn't come up. So you would take the time to fill that out. Once you're done, we're going to click the next button again over here in the bottom right-hand corner. And the next thing we have is our PAR-Q or our physical activity readiness questionnaire. And again, you'll take the time to click anything that applies on the right-hand corner. For the sake of our tutorial, Chad, go ahead and click next if you don't mind, please. Now we're going to customize the program a little bit further. The first question here is the category that best fits us. Chad, if you go ahead and thank you, you've opened up the drop down, you'll just see that you're going to clarify what level of exerciser that you are, whether you're more beginner, intermediate, advanced. Just for the sake of this program, Chad, why don't we go ahead and click I'm a serious exerciser, have been training for more than 1 year. Thank you. And then go ahead for our next drop down And here you're going to see a variety of different sports and activities. And we've created different programs for all of these different activities. So how about just for the time being, Chad, we'll just go with no sport at the very top. Thank you. And then how long we've been doing resistance training. We'll do more than a year. And now, Chad, if you scroll down just so we can see all the answers for our activity level question, how you answer this question is going to be very, very important to be as accurate as possible for your program. After we finish completing this program, we're going to see what our guesstimate is on calories burned, which is actually taking the information from male or female, your starting weight, and how you answer this question for your activity level. So since we're using myself as an example here, I always check off the third from the top, and it says I spend most of the day sitting and I exercise at least 5 times a week, or I perform continuous light activity but do not exercise. Been working in the fitness industry for a very long time, but nowadays I do a lot of traveling and I sit behind a desk when I don't get to get my workouts in, so I have to be real with myself. Now, if we come down here, how would we describe our diet? We have a few different options here. We're going to stay with regular. And then the last question, how often do we consume calcium-rich foods? And we'll stick with once a day. After we're done with this, again, we're going to go back to our bottom right-hand corner and click Next. Almost done. Now, look at what we've got so far. Based on how we entered the information, the program says, with the information I added, that I burn 2,826 calories in a day. My starting weight is 230 pounds. We're going to put my goal weight of 220 pounds. So I would like to lose 10 pounds. Okay? Now we have this timeline that we have the option from 1 to 100 weeks that we can choose. But a really nice thing is, again, we have to make sure safety is of the utmost concern. So the program will not accept a timeline that would be deemed unhealthy. So for me, Chad, just to show as an example, can you actually go ahead and hit 1 week at the very top if you don't mind, please? And then hit Next. And what you're going to see here is the program red flagged that and said, we're not going to be able to lose 10 pounds in healthy or a healthy way in 1 week. It bumped me up to the fastest time being 4 weeks. Now we can always choose longer than 4 weeks, but at least that's the minimum time to get there. Chad, why don't we change the 4 weeks and why don't we look at doing that in 8 weeks? So a little bit more than a pound per week is what our goal is going to be with this example. And then go ahead and hit Next, please. And you're just going to see just your typical liability waiver. We'll scroll to the very bottom. We're going to check our box off, and then we're going to hit Next in the bottom right-hand corner. And now we're getting ready for our program. We're going to walk you through these next steps, but these screenshots are going to show you a little bit more information as if you didn't see this tutorial on how to be able to help you. So Chad, let's go ahead and slowly scroll all the way to the bottom though, because we're going to review all this in depth. Keep going, keep going, keep going. And now at the very bottom, we're going to go right to Go To Summary. Now when we go to Go To Summary, we're going to see exactly how many calories I should be consuming versus how many calories that I'm burning on a daily basis and be able to record everything right here. Now one quick note, the program has been set up on our website using a fully responsive site. And what that basically means is no matter what tool that we happen to be viewing the program on as far as a browser, whether it's a smartphone, whether it's a tablet, or a regular PC or laptop view, the website itself will take the shape and form of the tool that you're using to view it with. So what that means is when I pull out my smartphone and I go ahead and I go to my browser to www.dotFIT.com and I log in, this will actually look entirely like a regular app. So you have a one-stop shop. All you need to do is go to the browser and you'll find our website, log in, and you have full functionality just like an application. So now showing you this in the full screen so you can see as much as possible. Remember we talked about how we filled out the questionnaire? The program says that I burn approximately 2,826 calories in a day. For my goal again of the 10-pound loss in the 8 weeks, I should be taking in, wait for it, 2,201 calories per day. That's going to be the deficit needed in the timeline stated to get me to lose the 10 pounds. Now let's take a look at a few things here. First thing we'd like to show you, Chad, let's go ahead and click Program, and we're going to click Apps and Devices. What we're going to see under Apps and Devices is going to be multiple third-party apps and devices that our program connects with. Personally, I use a Fitbit, and my Fitbit exercise information just ports right over to my dotFIT program. So you can see here, we have a bunch of different tiles, and we're always looking at adding more as well. So that way we can go ahead and sync up if you happen to have a favorite tool that either you are already logging food with or exercise or both, comes all for a one-stop shop into your dotFIT program. Now let's look at how to, again, use our dotFIT program as best as we can. We're going to come back again to Summary, Overview, which I'd like you to think of Summary Overview as home base, because on this one screen that you saw just a moment ago, which is coming right back up, you're going to be able to do 99% of your program from this page and never have to go anywhere else. We're going to start from the left, we're going to move to the right. So on this side here in the green, this is all about how you can log your daily caloric intake. And we actually have 3 tools for you to do this with, and I'm going to show you in the order on how we would suggest you least use to most use. The first tool is going to be Quick Log right here. When we click Quick Log, you're going to notice a pop-up box that comes up, and we happen to use Calorie King as our database. There are other databases that might be more robust, but our program, the dotFIT program, is actually covered under the umbrella of the North Carolina Board of Dietetics and Nutrition. So because of that, we had to have a lockdown database where Chad maybe possibly enters a new food into the database, but if he entered it in incorrectly and now I had access to that in my program, that would debunk that approval. So we need to make sure that it's locked down, that everything is going to be exactly proven to along what it said. So all I have to do here is simply type in a food. Chad, let's just type in apple if you don't mind, please. You're going to see a ton of different variations or things that are super close to it. And if you could see right here, we could just even go with the very first one as an example, apple raw with skin. We click on that. And you're going to see here that we can change the quantity, maybe the serving size. And again, how about, Chad, we'll just go with a large apple. And we're just going to say that we had that for breakfast. And we're going to click OK if you don't mind. And what you're going to see here is back in our big green circle, our goal was 2,200 calories per day. Well, we've logged 5% of that. So we have 120 down. We have a whole lot left to see. And we can even see what we did right there. Now that's the first way, and if you remember, we actually said that's how we would least want you to log every single day, because we want to make sure logging is super simple for you. And we just know from working with clients for many, many years, if it's not simple and easy, they won't stick with it. And we can't emphasize the importance enough of logging. And folks, it's proven. It's proven in the hospital and long-term weight loss situations that out of multiple habits that were consistent for success, food logging was at the top. So if you're really serious about making changes, take the time. And with what we're going to show you, you should actually be able to take and log all of your food every day in less than 5 minutes, as long as you properly prepare with what we're showing you here. So now let's make this more simple. The second button right here, Favorites. When we click that, you're going to see 3 options that we can go ahead and utilize to make things more simple. We have a favorite foods section. Go ahead, Chad, if you would, click custom. And what I want you to notice is down in the lower right-hand corner, when we go ahead and click custom, we get the blue plus sign. Go ahead, Chad, if you would, please. Let's click that. You're gonna see here that we can add anything we want. And Chad, if you would click nutrition facts, you can get down to the micro level if you would like to. Personally, I usually just add the macronutrients and calories, but after naming the food itself, the serving size, and hitting OK, you now have that added to your personal database. Remember though, that's just your personal database. So that could be for any food that's not in the system or a recipe or anything else. Go ahead, Chad, let's hit the X in the top right-hand corner. And now the third option in this favorite section is favorite meals. We'll have the ability, and we're going to show you this in just a moment, where you can save multiple items as a whole meal. And we find that most people out there tend to eat pretty much the same way for breakfast, lunch, and snacks during the week. Not everybody, and we realize that, but if you do happen to eat some of the same things pretty often, pretty systematic that way, we can save those things and you can log exactly what you're looking to do in a matter of seconds. Now, next thing we need to do though to show you how to make these favorites is this. We're gonna come right over here to the log button. And when you see the log button, this is gonna give you a detailed view of what you've logged that day. And this is the only space right now on how we can make our favorite foods and favorite meals. So notice for me here, we've only logged the apple, and if you can even see, we have our pie chart showing us our macronutrients. Now, since we logged the apple, if you happen to see the star that's to the left of the word apples, right now it is not shaded in, but Chad, if you would, please click that star, and you're gonna notice now that it's shaded in because we made it a favorite food. Now, Chad, well, we'll come back to it in just a second, but let's add something as well, Chad, to apples. Let's go ahead and hit our blue plus sign because we want to add something here to make this a favorite meal so it's more than one item. Why don't we just add some milk, Chad, please? And yeah, we'll go with 2% milk. And perfect. And hit OK. Now again, what you're going to see here is you're going to see the unshaded star next to the milk. But if I happen to love milk all the time, Chad, go ahead. Why don't we even click on the star to the left of reduced fat milk there for the 2%. But now notice, anytime you add anything to a meal, you also have the star to the left of the meal title, breakfast right here. So Chad, go ahead and click that if you don't mind. And you're going to see a pop-up window that we have to now name this meal so it's something we always remember. Obviously, for this tutorial, we're just using apple and milk, so that's pretty simple. But Chad, how about just entering in apple and milk? But this could have been peanut butter and jelly sandwich and banana. You get the idea. There's obviously, countless different things that we could have done here. So now we made that a favorite meal. So Chad, just if you would, let's go back to favorites. And number one, you're going to see favorite foods in alphabetical order. And then Chad, if you go ahead and hit favorite meals, you're going to see that we have our favorite meal. So if we wanted to add this, all we do is click on it. And let's just say, let's put that at lunchtime, Chad, just for something different. Perfect. We'll hit OK. Everything was already loaded in there. And if you go back to log again for me, please, you're going to see how our pie chart changed, as well as, if you scroll down, Chad, we had it for breakfast and we had it for lunch. But everything is going to be totaled for you as well at the bottom of the screen. So this screen, Chad, if you keep scrolling all the way down for me, and you'll see your ratios down there. And if you go all the way back up as well, please, you'll even see here this detailed view based upon the information that was either from the database, or if you add it to the database, you'll even get more information as well. Go ahead and scroll down for me. So you have all that right at your fingertips. Okay? Now, if you go all the way back up, Chad, let's go back to our summary overview, if you don't mind. There's actually a shortcut to do this, but we want to show you so that way if it was the first time you were coming into this. But one of our favorite ways to actually log food, and what we've seen being most successful with clients out there, is the third button being menus. And if you notice right here within the menus, we provide you 8 different reference menus that will be adjusted calorically to your calorie goal. So we have all of these that you can choose from, okay? Now here's the thing. Chad, let's click standard if you don't mind. All these menus were created by registered dietitians and professional chefs, but who knows, Chad, if you scroll down just so we can see the full amount of breakfast, just a little bit more. We don't know what the chances are that you might like all of this for breakfast. So here's how we want to make it as successful as possible for you. Let's go ahead and scroll back up if you don't mind, please. And we're going to click that Customize button in the top right-hand corner. When we click on it, we now have the ability to name this menu. It could be anything, but how about Rob's favorite menu, if you don't mind? Again, this could be Rob's Monday menu. This could be Rob's weekend menu. Could be anything. And you could do this an unlimited number of times. Thank you. He hit OK. Now what you'll notice is the red trash can icons next to each of the different foods. So hypothetically, let's just say I did not want this orange. Chad, let's delete the orange if you don't mind by clicking on the red trash can icon. And we'll just confirm it here with our pop-up window. Let's click our blue plus sign in the lower right-hand corner. Let's go ahead here, we'll type in banana. Just choose which option we wanted. Now it's very important to tag what meal we wanted to put it in. In this particular example, after we find out what size, we'll click breakfast. Then we'll click OK. And now you'll see as we scroll down that our banana is there instead of the orange. So again, you could do this with all the different foods. Create your menu. I always say we have 2 rules for success. Rule number 1, you have to make it based on foods you like. But this is why we have rule number 2. I love steak and lobster, but I'm not going to eat steak and lobster every day. So rule number 2, what will you say, I can stick with this? And then again, watch as the changes go through because it's something that's very simple and easy that you can do on a daily basis. Okay, Chad, let's go ahead and click back to our summary overview. And we're going to notice again on the left-hand side, just because of what we've shown you already, you'll see how the green circle has changed with adding the calories that we've added. And you'll see the foods that we've logged here on the left-hand side. So it's all about accountability, right? Now, before we go too far, just remember this. Food is the primary delivery system of nutrients, right? And we need nutrition and nutrients for proper recovery, cellular health, and a whole lot of other things. But we are now taking in less food than we were taking in before. And unfortunately, I think for the masses out there today, the quality of food is less than what it used to be. So that just means if we're only getting our nutrition through food alone, the quantity of food we'd have to eat to get all our nutrition is probably going to be too much food. So our solution for you to give you as much for nutrients, but with as little of calories, is the right dietary support to supplement your diet based on what you might not be getting through food. So we're going to click this 4th button right here, your dietary support. And this is going to give you your recommendation from dotFIT on what's going to be helpful for you to not only plug in nutritional gaps, but also help you with your goal as well. And please remember, the dotFIT difference, very quickly, every single dotFIT product is third-party tested, but it's not just third-party tested to make sure it's clean of any contaminants, banned substances, or fillers, but it's also all based on third-party research that was shown clinically to have a positive effect for why you're taking it in the first place. So everything has gone through that process. So first thing you'll notice is we have a supplement bundle, which was based on our goal. We put in for my goal being weight loss. So Chad, if you scroll down just a little bit, you're gonna see 3 products here. That's a great weight loss bundle to get you started on your journey. Our active multivitamin to make up for what we may not be getting from our food, especially because we're cutting back on our calories as well. Our Lean MR, which is just a fantastic under 200 calorie snack that's nice and high in fiber to make us feel fuller longer, as well as over here our weight loss and liver support, which is a fantastic product built to enhance the liver, which controls all of where nutrients go throughout the body, as well as it's your major producer of bile, which breaks down fats. And remember, most times as we tend to gain more and more weight, we tend to put more of a stress on our liver itself. And I always compare it to my clients to it's the drain of the sink. And if the drain gets clogged, it can't do its job very well. So there's some great nutrients and ingredients in here to help, again, flush out that drain and make you not only function as best as possible with the liver, but also even control appetite. Now, if you would like to get deeper and look at more things that might assist you with your goal, we can keep scrolling down and we can open up this tile for advanced recommendations. So go ahead, chat, if you would, and you'll just see here, we'll scroll down again, that we're gonna see things for our essentials, which is based on your diet itself, any meal replacements, which the Lean MR was up above, and then if we wanna take this further, how to even maximize your results and support optimal health. Now remember, you can only get your dotFIT products in your dotFIT licensed facility, or you can even order online, and we have multiple ways of free shipping. That way it's at your doorstep every single month and you don't have to worry about going out to get anything. So Chad, with that, let's go ahead, scroll to the very top again. Let's go back to our summary overview, which again was home base. And let's look at the right-hand side of our program. So the left-hand side was all the calories and nutrition into our body. The right-hand side, let's take a look at activity. Now, here, the program again says that I burned 2,862, I believe it was, calories per day. So if I'm just going off of that, I can click the log button right here. And this log button is for logging general activity. I wouldn't necessarily log push-ups or crunches here, but if I tended to take a longer walk or a bicycle ride, or I was doing gardening, so whatever it might be, you're gonna see a ton of different variations in here that you can log as activity. Chad, if you would, let's type in walk, just to show everybody how many options they have. So when we type this in, we're gonna see like jog, walk, combination. Obviously, again, you can take the time and there's so many different things that you can do here. So that's how using that to keep track of any activity that you're doing. Let's go ahead and close this window though at the top right-hand corner with our X. Our next button is our steps button. Now this button, or this representation for steps, would actually be being pulled from any third-party apps and devices. So in other words, my Fitbit just translates right over to my dotFIT product or program. And you can also manually add your steps by clicking on the blue plus sign in the lower right-hand corner. And most people nowadays tend to carry a smartphone with them. So if you're not wearing an activity tracker, almost every smartphone, there's tons of different GPS apps. You can actually measure that. And even if it's not the most accurate, at least it's something you do all the time, so it creates a standard, okay? Chad, let's go ahead and get out of that. And we'll go back to our summary overview. And we're gonna look at our third button, which is our workouts button. Now this button might be something that you may utilize if number one, you don't have a personal trainer, or number two, your personal trainer might be actually assigning you some homework. They can actually keep track of your workouts as well. Now there's a lot to look at here, but let's make this super simple. We're gonna look at, again, the plus sign in the lower right-hand corner, and we're gonna hit new workout. Now we have a whole variety of different types of workouts to do here, but for our example right now, let's go ahead and go to strength and conditioning individualized. What we can do here is take a few moments to go ahead and complete all these different questions, which is, what is your goal? How many days a week are you going to be working out? What's the length of time for each workout itself? How often do you want the program to actually change? What equipment do you have available to you? We're gonna take a quick timeout so we can fill this out, and we'll be right back to show you the next step. Okay. We're back. We have filled this out with just some general information as an example for this tutorial. Rob's program, it's a fitness program. My goal is max muscle. 3 days a week. We're going to do this for 1 month. Chad, if you go ahead and start scrolling down for us. And a little bit of how often we want the program to change is going to be every workout. And then go ahead and scroll all the way down just so we can see the bottom of this part. We have the ability here, depending if you happen to be doing this in a gym or club or studio or at home or in a park. Chad, for our example, let's go ahead and click select all, please. And then we're just gonna hit create my program. Just as a quick example. And we're gonna go with the recommended starting date. So we'll just go ahead and click on the gray, start the program on the selected date. And now what we have to do though, is actually activate this on what 3 days we want. So Chad, over here with our active workouts, let's click our drop-down box. And let's say we're going to do this Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you would check those 3 off. And then we're going to click Add, please. And now what we're going to see here is if we just go ahead and move over to November 1st, because that's when we said we're going to start this, you're going to see this variation of different dumbbells, which just represents our programs. Chad, just for an example, let's click on Monday the 4th, please. And you'll see a sample program, if you just start to scroll down for us, that's going to give you everything from flexibility, some core work, and then resistance training. I can actually go ahead and even click on, how about, Chad, come back up and we'll stop at the seated shoulder press with dumbbells right here. Let's go ahead and click on that. And what you'll see with each exercise is a start and finish picture, what muscles you are working within the exercise, a little demonstration video as well, and then you even have options of changing out different exercises. Let's go ahead and hit the X in the top right-hand corner. Now, when you're going to do the program, also notice this green clipboard. Chad, let's hit that clipboard. This is a great way for you to now monitor what you did in the workout. So we could come over here and how about hit our drop-down box, Chad? And we're making this up obviously for the tutorial, but let's say we did 11 repetitions. And I'm going to jump right over here to the weight, and I want it to be documented. You can type this in that I did 50 pounds, please. So we'll type in 50. We'll scroll all the way to the bottom. Just for the sake of this tutorial, we're just going to use that one as an example. I have an area for notes if I wanted, but let's hit log. And now you'll see the pop-up that says workout logged. Chad, let's scroll to the top, please. And notice here on the left-hand side, let's click workouts. Jumped ahead for one moment. Here on the left-hand side, let's click workout log. And we're going to see that it's documented that I did 11 reps with 50 pounds. So I can always go back and refer and that way compare and contrast what I want to progressing throughout my workouts. Okay, there's so much more, but that is enough to just get you started. Let's go ahead, Chad, to summary overview. We are almost there. Our 4th button is just an automatic device sync button. So again, because I'm connected to my Fitbit, this will sync throughout the day. But if I go ahead and I logged onto my program and I wanted to know right there, how many steps have I done or what's my calorie burn, I can just click that and it'll automatically sync it at that time. Now, one more thing to show you on this screen. If we scroll all the way back down, we're going to see here a progress chart. So we can easily monitor how we're doing towards where we should be going each and every day. And remember, with your dotFIT program, every week you're going to get a pop-up window that's going to ask you to either submit your weight or your weight and body fat, which then the program can give you choices of what to do, whether you might be off target and how to get back on target, or if you're on target, how to be able to remain the same. So it's basically like your built-in personal trainer. Does not replace your personal trainer if you have one, because there's nothing that's going to replace that human accountability, the education and motivation, but this can work hand in hand with that. All right, Chad, let's go ahead and scroll to the very top, please. Just a few more things. Let's go ahead over to summary, and just so you can show some of the options, let's click on measurements. You have the ability here to log weight, body fat percentage, circumference measurements, and everything will be tracked for you within the program. So this way, again, you can keep track of those type of measurements, always being able to monitor progress. Let's come on up here to, I wanted to come to Learn, please. This Learn tab has tons of articles, recipes, frequently asked questions. That is an amazing library of information that you have right at your fingertips. And if there's something that is not there that you're looking for, go ahead down here and you'll notice in the bottom right-hand corner, and you can click on how to be able to ask our RDs and our experts. If you go ahead and complete this as far as the questions that you're looking for, You are guaranteed a response from our team within 48 hours. It's usually even a lot faster than that. But we have a whole team of professionals that we have over 50 years within experience within the industry to answer these for you, and we want to be your one-stop shop for everything that you need with your fitness solutions. So, with that being said, congratulations on getting started with your dotFIT program. At any time, if you need help or support, please don't hesitate to let us know. Thank you so much for being a part of our community.